My voice might sound a little different right now. That's just because I'm sick at the moment, so I just want to let you guys know that. Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. Well, about a month after it was originally theorized to come out, the first teaser trailer for Spider Man Far From Home has finally hit the internet, around 6 months ahead of its release. The trailer is absolutely awesome. The movie looks really fantastic. Even if it's a little weird watching it, knowing 50% of the characters on screen are technically supposed to be dead right now. But hey, who knows? Maybe it's set before Endgame. The trailer certainly doesn't give any real indicators in any way. But in any event, today I'm going to break down the first teaser trailer for Spider Man Far From Home, going over all of the characters and plot reveals, and maybe trying to determine once and for all if this is set before or after Endgame. This is our first Phase 4 trailer. Far From Home technically kicks off Phase 4, so this is our first look at the MCU's future post Endgame. This seems to be the same trailer that played in December at the Brazil Comic Con, as it lines up with the footage description perfectly, albeit with some little extra things. So, the teaser starts off in New York with Spider Man attending an event for his Aunt May, who knows he's Peter Parker now. In the footage description, it wasn't really clear what this event was exactly, but now it makes much more sense. It looks like Aunt May will be starting up the MCU version of Feast, the homeless support shelter she's known for in the comics, and which also played a role in the recent PS4 video game. It looks like Aunt May got Peter to visit as Spider-Man to bring in more attention and more charity. It's worth noting that the check Happy has here has been signed by Pepper Potts, the CEO of Stark Industries. So Pepper was definitely here, another indicator of how weird it is that Tony isn't. Just saying. After this, she and Peter go backstage where Happy Hogan comes in. It's clear she and Happy have something going on, and there's a lot of that in this movie. We see later in the trailer Peter and Michelle are sparking now, but there's also Ned and Betty as well. Now we see Peter preparing for a school trip to Europe and talking to Mr. Delmar about it. The rumor was that Peter is now working for him, although it's hard to tell if that's the case from this trailer alone. But we see Spider-Man swinging through New York. It looks like he'll finally actually be doing that in the MCU. I mean, he didn't really truly swing through New York until Infinity War, but I'm just glad he's doing it. Although I gotta say, the layering CGI on top of a perfectly good, no CGI required Spidey suit, not a good look. Two big MCU things here. Behind him, we see the Battle of New York statue on top of Grand Central Station, which means that this is Avengers Tower behind him. It's clearly being remodeled by someone. We heard that it got sold back in Homecoming, and there have been fan theories running wild about just who bought it, whether it's Oscorp or the Baxter Building. Considering this development has occurred in Spidey movies, I'm thinking it might end up being Oscorp. Although it would be really cool if the Fantastic Four moved into the Avengers' old HQ. In any event, when Peter gets his passport, we can see what date it is. July 19th. There's usually a year listed in the date issued expired bit, so it's clear that Marvel is trying to hide what year this movie is set in. After this, we see Peter packing up his stuff to leave. He's using a suitcase marked BFP, aka Uncle Ben's old suitcase, and now he's off to Europe with a select number of classmates. They are as follows: Ned, Michelle, Flash, and Betty, and some other faces I don't recognize, including this dude, Rimihi's mystery character. Some say he's Amadeus Cho, some say he's Hydro Man. But considering they're watching the previous fight between Mysterio and Hydro Man on TV, I'm going to say that's probably not the case. Most likely thing is he's just a random student. Maybe he's not even from the comics. Another rumor is that there's going to be a love triangle of sorts between him, Peter, and Michelle. I hate love triangles, so no. Just no. But anyway, Mr. Harrington has also been in set photos, along with JB Smooth's character, who appears to be a tour guide or something. Here we get our first look at Peter and Michelle's blossoming romance. I really like it personally, and it reminds me of the classic Peter-MJ dynamic a bit. They've always had very different personalities, but they somehow fit together perfectly, and that's translated in a new way here. The kids will be going to plenty of different locations in the movie. In the trailer alone, we see London and Venice, both featured heavily. But this is where the plot starts moving, when Nick Fury shows up, tranks Ned, and recruits Spider-Man for a mission. He'll need Spidey to help him stop the elementals, a bunch of giant element-based monsters tearing through Europe for unknown reasons. We mainly see two elementals in the trailer, water and earth, aka possibly Hydro-Man and Sandman. But we know that there's at least one more, Fire, aka Molten Man, who we see later in the trailer, and maybe even a fourth air-based one. We see Fury and a woman facing off against Sandman. Her hair is a little bit different, but I'm pretty certain that this is Maria Hill, based on set photos. When he and Spider-Man are talking in the boat here, Peter is wearing his Stark suit, the one he left in New York. So I'm thinking Fury had that suit brought to Europe for him to use. However, we know he'll have at least two more in the movie. The stealth suit, and then the slick new red and black suit, my personal favorite. The implication is that the Stark suit gets destroyed or lost and is replaced by a new shield-made one. There's a big fight happening on the London Bridge. Lots of lightning and smoke and fire. It's hard to tell which elemental is involved, but maybe it's the air? Maybe this one's more weather-based, I don't know. Anyway, this is the first we see of his black and red suit, so I'm thinking this could be more towards the end of the movie. Who knows, maybe it's not an elemental at all, but instead a certain bull-headed foe of Spidey's. After this we see a shot of Happy talking with Peter. Many have pointed out that if this is set before Endgame, it's a little strange that Tony isn't here personally. But I don't know, maybe he's busy on Avengers duty or something. Here we see some goon shooting up a place. I'm really not sure who these guys are. Do they work for the Elementals? Mysterio? Maybe they're S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. We see Ned, MJ, and Betty on the London Bridge during the big fight, although they seem to be there for all of the attacks, including Hydro-Man's in Venice. Here we see Peter in his stealth suit. Now, I'm an American, so I'm not exactly an expert on European locale, but I'm pretty sure this is in London. I'm fairly certain this was filmed in Prague, so I guess that's where this is. It's listed on this poster as one of the locations they visit. Alright, but now we get to the part we've all been waiting for. In the scene where Hydro-Man attacks them in Venice, my man Mysterio shows up in green smoke and everything. I'm pretty okay with his costume. It's a good adaptation. Maybe it could stand to be a little less bulky, but it looks really great with the fishbowl, which, oh yeah, here that is. Alright, so let's talk about Mysterio. We all know by now that he's supposedly not the villain of the movie. He's actually a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who teams up with Spider-Man to take down the Elementals. Although the rumor is that he's going to pull a Syndrome here and be the one responsible for all of these attacks, so that he can show up and heroically save the day and all of that. I think that's pretty likely. That sounds like classic Mysterio to me, but we'll see. Maybe there's something else up their sleeve. In any event, in the comics he's known for being a master of illusion, using all sorts of tech like holograms, hoverboards, lasers, etc., to make it seem like he's this crazy magician, but he's actually just a VFX genius. Looks like this might be the case for MCU Mysterio as well. If you pause it at just the right moment in the trailer, you can see green sparks in his hands just before he blasts Hydro-Man, which makes me think he's modified some repulsor technology here. Although I will say, this right here has a strong Doctor Strange vibe to it. It looks a lot like the kind of magic shields he casts all the time. It's possible he's seen some footage of Strange or something and has modeled his style after him. Or maybe he really is a sorcerer in the MCU, as some rumors have stated. I'd be okay with that, but I feel like it's really a big part of the character, the fact that he isn't. He's just a guy who's really good at illusions. After this, in the last scene of the trailer, we see the Midtown students debating on who Mysterio is. This is the first time Remy Heath's character speaks in the trailer, when he compares him to Iron Man and Thor. and also when Flash professes his love of Spider-Man. Alright, so having seen all of the trailer, let's put this debate to rest. Is this movie set before or after Avengers Endgame? I've got to give Sony props. They've demonstrated god-level restraint here. There really aren't any indicators in either direction. This could be set after Endgame, or it could be the summer after Homecoming. It could go either way. According to the official MCU timeline released not too long ago, this could take place in the summer of 2017, and Infinity War could perhaps be in the fall of 2017. I'm still having trouble fully buying this timeline, but whatever. In any event, I have reached a decision. It's definitely set after Endgame. Like I said, there are no clear indicators in the trailer, but there are some little things here and there. The fact that there's no date on his driver's license. Why would they hide that if it's set before Endgame? Wouldn't they want people to know that it's before? That way they wouldn't have as many questions. There's also the fact that Pepper and Happy are there, but not Tony. Sure, Pepper's the CEO of Stark, so it makes sense she'd sign the check. But Tony's really close to Peter. You'd think he wouldn't pass up a chance to visit him. Then there's the fact that Fury enlists Spider-Man of all people, and not Iron Man or Cap or Black Widow or literally any other adult Avenger. Makes me think his options are much more limited now. But the biggest thing for me is the fact that Peter leaves his suit behind in New York. This shot here makes it clear to me he wants to get away from being Spider-Man for a little while. And if he had just gone through something like the death of his mentor, that would explain it. Now, this is all just wild speculation. At this point, I actually think it might be more likely Tony survives Endgame, just because of how much we've been saying he won't. But the fact that he's not there is weird, I've got to say. I could be wrong, maybe this is all set before Endgame, but I don't get why they'd hide that. You'd think they'd want to advertise that so that it's less confusing for viewers. That's just my 2 cents though. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, that's about it for the breakdown. This trailer is magnificent. It's so fun and full of heart. It reminds me how much I loved Homecoming. I have a lot of hopes for this movie. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I'm so excited to see more of him in the future. I particularly love how they integrated the classic Spidey tune into the trailer music. I'd really like to see that track used more often in the MCU Spider-Man. It's such an iconic score, and it fits perfectly with Holland's Peter Parker. But with all of that said, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this trailer? When do you think this could be set? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Your friends are in trouble. What are you going to do about it?
You don't want any part of this.